Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting-edge conversation while exploring the quantum possibilities. And we are not going to disappoint you tonight, because we're going to push the limits on some of the quantum possibilities in our cosmic conversation with a person that I don't think we can have on enough. I don't think we can have this guest on enough. He is brilliant. Augie's going to tell you about him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for interacting in the chat room. I'm going to be in there with you tonight as usual. And thank you for your super chats. Augie gets all excited. He's like a little kid at Christmas. He's like, "Woo, we got his super chat." No, he doesn't really do that. Well, maybe he does. But anyway.
It's close.
A little bit. Kind of.
I've heard you do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss the hot potato over to you, Augie, so you can tell us about Tom.
All right. Well, first of all, before I introduce the guest, I want to talk a little about the future, technologies of the future that is here today and totally accessible to us today, accessible to everybody, just that it isn't talked about much. This is technologies that allow for us on one continent to take a picture of someone, put it into a small, I guess I should call it, small machine, a box, and treat somebody on another continent without having any physical contact. Now, this is perfectly available right now. And we can affect somebody anywhere in the world or possibly in the universe by doing this simple thing, tuning the machine to that person's vibration, and we will affect them at a distance. Also, something that a farmer can take a picture of a bug, a pest, put it into this machine, and keep his fields totally clean of those bugs. They will never come. If they come in, they will leave right away because they will not like the vibration in that field. Or another thing that we're going to talk about, and this is going to be, we talk about this in the tail end of this one because this is good, and we want to leave on a really, really good piece of information for you. And that is that you could take a picture of yourself 30 years ago. And you did take a picture of yourself 30 years ago. Put it into this machine, turn the knobs to the right, tune them to that frequency that existed 30 years ago. And you, as time progresses, you start looking more and more and more like that picture 30 years ago. What's that called? That's called age regression. See, I know this sounds totally ridiculous, but the evidence is in the science. And those technologies are available right now. And now I'm going to introduce the guest to you. We have Tom Paladino with us. He is a Scalar Energy Researcher, and he's been doing this for 25 years. And he has great experiences helping people heal and affect them with overall health recovery from pathogenic infections. And that is one thing that we got going on these days. So we're going to touch on that one too. And he is also a practitioner and a researcher of radionics. Tom has researched and worked on perfecting methods to use scalar energy and found some solutions. Scalar energy is outside of the electromagnetic spectrum, is more in the plasmic field. And we call it 0-point energy, radiant energy, chi, and prana. There's other words for it. Orgone energy is another one. And what he has created it gives you access to the phenomenally good effect on health that you could have had if you step out of the box a little further, not just one leg, move the other one out, and then you start seeing some things happen. And now this is something that affects everybody once they do it. And then we will talk about radionics. I was a radionic practitioner, so this is right up my alley, and it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about. So this is going to be interesting, folks. For your education, I give you Tom Paladino.
Yay, welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Noreen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right. Well, you are returning. You've been with us,
Absolutely.
I think, twice already. So
Yes.
yeah, we are going to have some fun here. I would say I got a quick question.
Easy
first.
for you to say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't that quick. A quick question before we get into the science of what you're doing. What in the world made you step out of the box this far
Right.
and not stay in the business world and just become a billionaire like other people of your character?
I appreciate the high praise, and let me answer that directly. I want to honor God and I want to help people. So the point of technology is not to make money. This is not about making money or gaining power. The technology that I'm working with, Scalar Energy, is a gift from God. It's the intelligence of God, and it should be addressed as such. So it's never been my design to control an industry or to control a company. It's always been my design to help mankind. So as we develop this theme tonight and this conversation broadens, you will see the far-reaching implications of this energy, of this technology. And yes, the day is coming that it will impact the military-industrial complex. Scalar Energy is about to make an impact on the military-industrial complex. And you'll see how profound this technology is and what it does to serve to improve our lifestyle. That's the key. Technology should be the servant of mankind. And that's why I'm working so hard with Scalar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you, in order to explain what you do, it is so far reaching, where would you start in a more simple way to get people to understand what you're doing?
Okay. Let me start by saying there are two energies. Yes, we believe in electricity and magnetism, but there's another energy, scalar energy, what some people call zero-point energy, and the laws of physics are different for scalar energy, zero-point energy, as opposed to AC electricity. So what is my point? This is a new physics. This is quantum physics. This is quantum energy. And what many people have only theorized or considered to be science fiction is reality. There's two energies, and I'm working with that other energy spectrum. This is so important that I accentuate that. I'm not working with AC electricity. And when I'm working with this other energy spectrum, we have an entire universe that unfolds, another dimension that is unlike, that is dissimilar to electromagnetic energy. And the opportunity with this new science, scalar energy, with this dimension of energy, far exceeds the gifts, far exceeds the reach, far exceeds the benefits that can be derived from electricity and magnetism. Scalar energy is the superior energy, and someday we will see those benefits manifest by way of this technology.
I think also that mainstream science is actually starting to confirm some of what you're doing, because you're working in the quantum arena.
Yes.
Mainstream science is now starting to accept that. Why? Because we got quantum computers.
Yes.
They are and now finally admitting that they have those things in the last 3 or 4 years. Before that, they hardly ever talked about it, even though they had them.
Yes.
But this is kind of coming in the back door, actually, to confirm what you're doing is real.
Yes. Yes, it is. And we speak about quantum computers. We speak about this new age of information, this new age of technology. Imagine if you have perfect technology, perfect information. That's what scalar energy is. It's the intelligence of the universe. It really is the intelligence of God. Some people might call scalar energy consciousness. Others might call it the breath of the Holy Spirit. It really is the omnipresence of God. It's the information system of the universe. So if a computer system or if the internet has the cloud, that's a man-made concept. Our information structure is man-made, and hence it's limited. The cloud is limited to human reasoning, to human effort, as opposed to the information cloud of scalar energy, which is the information of the stars. It's God's intelligence, which has no limit. And that's what I'm trying to point out to people, that there's a better way, that there's a much superior technology, a better energy to work with, scalar energy as opposed to electricity. And once we understand this technology, this quantum technology, we're going to leave behind the old technology. This will serve to, frankly, upset the military-industrial complex.
If it is the mind of God, is it the same phenomena that happens with spontaneous healing, spontaneous remission?
Exactly. And why is it spontaneous? Because everything in a quantum field, everything in a scalar energy force field happens by way of instantaneous action. There is no time delay anymore, as you realize. Everything is instantaneous. So this is the perfect information system. It transcends time and space. All action, all scalar energy action is instantaneous. It's not a chemical reaction that takes time. It's an instantaneous action because it's instantaneous thought. So everything happens at the speed of thought, which is immediately at an instant. And this is the benefit, one of the benefits of this energy. It's dependable. Whatever we ask this energy to do, it can perform that function instantly, without diminution, without mistake, because it's God's intelligence. So consider how you have to program a computer, you have to program a car, you have to program an airplane, you have to program a toaster. With this energy, you don't have to program it. It's already been programmed. This is infinite intelligence. This is the intelligence of the universe. And as soon as you access that quantum intelligence, that's it. That is the coup de grace.
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of questions in the chat room, if I may. One is, and I'm sure you're going to get into this, Margaret wants to know, how do you use that energy to heal? Nick asked, is there a possibility this technology can be abused? And Linda asked how it could be related to med beds.
Okay, all right, let me take the first question. How do I use this to heal? One of the functions that I've been able to perform with this instrument is to read a photograph of a microbe. For instance, if I took this photograph of the herpes virus and I placed it inside my instrument, again, there's no human reasoning. All of this is done by way of quantum knowing, quantum intelligence. The instrument would look at the herpes virus by way of a photograph and then send that energy into the human body to break apart the herpes virus. So how do I program my instrument to break apart microbes, germs? By simply introducing a photograph of the germ, and then the instrument will send that intelligence to break down the molecular bonds of that microbe, of that germ. So there's no human reasoning. Everything is done by way of photographs, and everything hence is within that light interpretation. A photograph is a light interpretation. So yes, I've perfected that technique, that modality to break apart any type of microbe, provided I have a photograph of that microbe. Then moving on to the next question, can it be used for evil intent? It can be, because it's an energy. and it controls matter. So to speak to that point, I will not release the schematics. I've kept that well guarded. I will not release these instruments. There are corrupt governments and corrupt businesses that I don't trust. So for the present moment, I'm not going to let this out of my sight. I'm not going to release the inner workings, the schematics of these instruments. And then the other question, third question about med beds. I don't know much about med beds, so I'm not fluent in that topic. I won't address that.
The other question is there a school for this? We all need to be doing this.
Yeah, sadly, no. I lament so often. I'm one of the few scalar energy researchers that I know of that's made significant progress. Now, I have a website, and people are free, obviously, to peruse and read the articles that I've written. But I don't know why a school of thought or some type of a campus-like structure, some type of university is not in the offing. I wish it were. It is not. This is still considered to be esoteric. And to be blunt, academia has not yet embraced this. You'll not find, not to my knowledge, any college curriculum that addresses scalar energy. I haven't seen.
Yeah, what is your website? And maybe some of the listeners could probably want to go there while we are talking.
It's scalarlight.com, and I've devoted that website exclusively to my research. And I actually offer a 15-day free trial on the website. So that is a rather pointed view. It's a Scalar Light Research website, and I don't digress. I don't speak about other topics.
Okay. Yeah, for the 15-day free trial there, what can that work? Does individually, together, or how would they take advantage of that for specific things?
On the website, on our homepage, we offer 15 days of free sessions. Now, let me make this clear before I get into that. We work with photographs of people or animals. This is my photograph. You're going to email us your photograph. And when we're working the quantum realm, we work with photographs. We don't work with people or animals. So you're going to send us a photograph of your entire family if you want, including your pets. I work exclusively by way of your photograph that has your energy. I access your energy. I'm not accessing you. I'm accessing your quantum energy. So the website has a 15-day free trial. Anybody in the world can email us your photograph. And during those 15 days, we will eradicate microbes on the quantum level. We will balance your chakras, and we have a nutrient program. Now, those three modalities are practiced on a daily basis. And after 15 days, you'll see the difference. Many people say that they feel better after 2 or 3 days. So let me sum up. The 15-day program is offered to anybody in the world. All we need is for you to email us a photograph of your face. That's it. And the three modalities that you're going to experience are a microbe cleanse, a germ cleanse. Your chakras are going to be balanced. And then we will assemble nutrients at the quantum level. All of that is effectuated by the quantum realm, by scalar energy. This is not an in-person session. This is effectuated by the quantum field through the witness of your photograph. Sometimes we call your photograph the witness.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. Now, the pictures that they would send you, is there any importance to what kind of pictures? Could it be transferred through because in the old days, back when I was doing it, we were using pictures in the radionic equipment. It should be a regular photo that had a lead-based back on it, because that worked better. Was I told? I'm not so sure if it did, but any picture would work. Or
I go back to the 90s when I first started this, Augie. We were using Polaroid photographs. Photographs but nobody uses a Polaroid anymore. So we've graduated. People will email us a photograph. And emailed photographs work fine. They work fine, at least with my instrument. I'll speak about my experience. Now, going back 30 years ago, we were using Polaroid photographs or 35 millimeter prints, if you will. So the point being is your photograph. My photograph carries energy, quantum energy. When I place my photograph in an instrument, my skin, my composition is recognized by the mind of God, is recognized by quantum energy. This is what's so fascinating, people. I don't have to program my instrument to recognize a photograph and send energy to somebody around the world. It's the mind of God. It's consciousness. And the instrument knows who you are and will find you, locate you anywhere in the world by way of your photograph.
Yeah, I suppose
Wow.
because everything is connected.
Yes.
I am connected to you, you are connected to me, and the two of us is connected to everything else and everybody else.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
that's quantum entanglement. Let's address that. Many, if you're a Christian, you call that the Alpha and the Omega, that whatever starts with God comes back to God. Some call that quantum entanglement, meaning everything is interconnected in the universe. That's true. Others will call that consciousness, in which all activity, all intelligence is holographic, and you can't separate anything. In a holographic universe, the part is the whole is the part, so to speak. And yes, you're absolutely right. This is the quantum dimension in which everything is interconnected. It's impossible not to be connected. So what does that mean? Once you're in the quantum realm, you're part of the intelligence of the universe. It's not one computer speaking to another computer. It's not one satellite sending a signal to a cell phone tower. It's the universe.
Yes. A couple more questions. Dana said, please address follow-up and ongoing treatment with the program. And then Emperor Rex asks, if you have two pictures from 30 years ago, and between the two, one of boot camp, one of high school, which one should I send for consideration?
Yeah. About the photograph, people send us photographs regardless of the age of the photograph. It works. What am I getting at? Your light signature, regardless of when that photograph was taken, your light signature stays the same. Now, to speak to Augie's point, there is some mention that once you put your photograph in the scalar energy environment, that there's an automatic age regression. And I think that's true to some degree. Now, I'll speak to myself to that point. I'm 61 years of age, and I don't have ailments. And I believe I am still vibrant. I believe I'm very healthy, in large part because of this type of technology. I work with myself around the clock. My photograph is always inside that instrument. And so if that's the case, in some way, I am slowing down the aging process. And I think that that's really of merit. So I believe scalar energy will provide perfect nutrition. It will, yes, indeed, eradicate microbes from our body. But maybe one of the more important things is it balances my brain waves and my soul. And it leads to a state of bliss. And I do believe scalar energy will prolong life. I'll go on record by saying that, because we slow down the aging process. You see, when you're in a perfect scalar energy environment, you don't age, time stands still. Well, I don't have the perfect scalar energy environment yet, but I do believe I'm slowing down the aging process. I'll repeat that. I believe my instruments slow down the aging process.
Neat. Could this help with addictions? Nick asks.
Yes, many people are helped with addictions on account of the fact that this is divine intelligence. And when I'm placing your photograph in the presence of God, within this Akashic record, perfect energy, perfect intelligence, it's serving to balance your brainwaves. it's serving to balance your 7 chakras. So I do believe that this energy is corrective energy. And many people say it has helped them to overcome drug addiction, computer addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction, etc., by correcting your behavior. That is the mind of God at work. It's not me. I'm not a drug counselor. It's the light, scalar light. The energy performs that function.
It's amazing.
That,
Somebody
that
asked.
makes sense. Go ahead, Nori.
Somebody asked if you could do a group session like a family healing.
Yes. Let me show you another photograph. This is a collage. Frequently, people will send me collages from around the world. And it's not unlikely that I receive on any given day 1,000, 2,000 photographs. On any given day, I could easily be treating 500,000 people. So the instruments are designed to work with millions of photographs if need be, because the instrument can adjudicate each person by their scalar wave, by their quantum signature, and find that person and address each person. So imagine that. These instruments can easily address 1 million people simultaneously and send the proper energy to those 1 million people in an instant. It's a supercomputer. This is the supercomputer of the future. You know, we have supercomputers now, but they're still limited. They're still limited in their capacity. There's no limit on God's supercomputer. There's no limit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, that actually makes sense that you can treat many people at the same time, because we did with the old radionic computers also. We had 2 or 3 pictures in the same well.
Yes.
And it worked for the 2 or 3 people. Yes. And another thing that I want to mention in that regard is that you can create the vibration of supplements in the body if the body needs it. Because one of the things we did back in Omaha, we created vitamin C out of distilled water.
Yes.
Now, there were no vitamin C in it, but it had the vibration of vitamin C.
Yes.
Because we had it tested, and we were told that, we were told there was vitamin C water. Well, yeah, we didn't tell them that we didn't put any vitamin C in it. But that was what the computer, the radionic computer, created. So if it can create vitamin C out of absolutely distilled water, you can also do the same thing here by treating somebody at a distance, because we are 78% water or something close to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Bravo to that. In my predecessor, a family by the name of the Hieronymus family, they had vials of water, and they would impart scalar energy into those vials of water. So what is that vial of water holding? Scalar intelligence, scalar instructions. And as you said, a vial of water could be potentiated to represent the molecular structure of vitamin C. And then that water would carry the instructions into your photograph to download vitamin C into your photograph. Now, keep in mind, this is all non-physical. What am I getting at? Scalar energy is a non-physical science. We don't have to worry about physical matter because we simply instruct physical matter. So that's the key. This is the intelligence behind physical matter. It's not physical matter. So this is an information system that sends out information that eventually will show itself in the formation of matter, but it's not matter. It's non-physical.
Yeah, and I see we're at the bottom of the hour here, where we would be in another 30 seconds. We'll run a little commercial about why we need to drink coffee. And there's a joke behind that one, Nori, but I'm not going to tell it. So we and Mac, let us know when you are ready to run that, and also when you come back. So because I can't see it.
I knew that there was a need because my father had a need. And if my father had a need, then how many other people have a need?
The key to Tyler's coffee is the roasting process. Because Mother Nature makes the coffee bean. We can only work with the processing.
We knew we wanted to go USDA certified organic. We wanted to be the purest and cleanest coffee in the world. We had to source stuff from Africa, we had to source stuff from Brazil, we had to source stuff from Chile, and we put it through our proprietary Z-roasting processor. So what that really truly means to you is that the coffee doesn't have inflammatory properties in it. I'm dedicated to serving 50 million Americans that suffer from stomach-related modalities, and also the millions of other people that just deserve a great tasting cup of coffee that's healthy and safe.
Okay, we're back. And for those of you that joined us late, we are talking with Tom Paladino. We are talking about Scalar Energy Research and what we can do to treat people at a distance and also tap into the universal mind. And as we have been doing on this show, we've been calling it the mind of God, in order to affect somebody at a distance, both for healing and other things. So, hey, Tom, we're back, is what they're telling me.
Thank
And,
you. Thank you. You know, let me offer some examples of scalar energy, and then the audience will say, "Oh, sure, that makes sense." Intuition. Some people have a gut feeling. You know, some people call it women's intuition or clairvoyance, or a feeling that something's going to happen. That's because you're tapped into the scalar energy information system. And whether that's the gift of prophecy or you have the understanding of a certain event is about to happen, that is a gift of scalar energy. That's scalar energy in motion, which you can foresee in the near future and the long-term future an event. Okay? Many people have the gift of scalar energy and healing hands. If some people can place their hands on you and you're healed, that's scalar energy from your hands. Okay? So what is the healing? What is the prime mover? What is that healing agent? It's not per se it's your hands, it's the scalar energy imparted from your hands. Okay? Other people have the gift of moving you with their voice or with poetry. Well, what's your voice? That's a projection of scalar energy. Your mind, your thoughts are a projection of scalar energy. So I want to make this very clear. Scalar energy is all around us. It's a shame we just haven't put our finger on it and admit to it that scalar energy is the intelligence of the universe, and all of us are tapped into it. And that intelligence is not AC electricity. The intelligence of the universe is quantum energy, scalar energy.
Yeah. Is there a practitioner that do that, kind of like you? Does your mind does it also have an effect on the outcome of what you are trying to do, or can the equipment do it on its own?
You know, the equipment can do it on its own, but I believe every time I'm working with people, I pray, and I always try and have good thoughts. And I always concentrate when I'm working with an instrument, I concentrate on the healing or I pray. And I think that augments the healing. In other words, I won't be distracted and I won't be on the phone, et cetera, et cetera. So when I'm in my laboratory, I pray when I'm working with people, because I believe, frankly, prayer is scalar energy.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, I see that you have a horde of testimonies, good testimonies from people that had some phenomenal results.
Yes.
Talk maybe a little bit about the success stories of some of the most extravagant ones that you can think of.
Okay, one of the most extravagant ones that's a ongoing narrative is we're working with an HIV/AIDS clinic in Delhi, India. And frankly, it's much easier to work with AIDS clinics outside of the United States, but I'll leave that for another discussion. So I'm working with this HIV AIDS clinic. I've worked with thousands of people who are HIV positive in Delhi, India. Now, after these people send me their photographs, remember, I work with people exclusively by way of their photograph. After these people have been treated by way of their photograph, some of these people have gone on to have a PCR test, some type of genetic marker test, if you will, to see if they have any viral load. And everybody that I've worked with that was HIV positive, if they went on to have a PCR test, that new test results shows no viral load. Okay, there is no viral load in any person that I've worked with by way of their photograph in Delhi, India. So many of those people are telling me that their health has improved, that they've gained weight. Some of those people are no longer on any type of HIV antiviral medication. My results, my work can only be explained by way of scalar action. What I'm working with is not Newtonian physics. You cannot explain what is going on by way of Newtonian science. This is not Newtonian science. This is a new science. And the only way to show the cause and effect relationship is really with the scalar energy instrument. So I have that instrument. I can actually detect on somebody's photograph. I can actually pick out on my photograph whether I had the marker, the signal for HIV. I can detect the presence or absence of the HIV virus on a photograph. And I'm able to do that with people in Delhi, India. But what really is stellar, what I really resonate with it is many people now are taking upon themselves to have the medical community support my theory that they no longer have HIV. After 10, 20 years, these people are HIV negative, no viral load. So that is one of our more extraordinary examples. Okay, why do I say that? Well, HIV is supposedly incurable. Now, once you have the virus, you have it for life. And the fact also it's rather relevant is this is halfway around the world. I live in the United States. I've never been to India, but the scalar energy instrument will work with anybody's photograph regardless of where they live. So consider what I'm saying and look at the before and after results. Some of those PCR tests are on our website. No more viral load after 10, 20 years of being HIV positive.
Just a couple more questions. Do you have to point out specific ailments, or does the energy go where it's needed?
The energy goes where it's needed. The science is still in its infancy. Yes, I can direct this instrument, but what I've done, I've created standardized sessions. And these standardized sessions, I can depend upon the outcome of these standardized sessions, because that's the way I've calibrated the instruments. Now, even though I've calibrated the instruments to perform a certain function, I'm sure the instrument, the intelligence is working in ways that I could never even imagine, performing healing at the spiritual, cognitive, emotional, and physical level. So I don't claim to be the healer. I claim that Jesus is the healer, and that I'm simply working with that energy spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret has asked twice if we can see the instrument.
Sure, go to the website. There's photographs. Sure. Sure.
Great.
Scalarlight.com. Sure.
There was one other question. It was really good. I'll have to find it. Sorry.
Sure.
In the meantime, what the equipment you're using, is that a form of a radionic computer, or is it a revised radionic computer, or is it a brand new type of equipment?
I would say it's a brand new type of equipment because it's custom built. I've custom built this. Let me familiarize the audience with the term radionics. It's a neologism, and I think the derivation, correct me if I'm wrong, Augie, it takes the root of radio and electronics, and you combine those two words into radionics. So 100 years ago, when radio and electronics was new, so to speak, radionics was the science of working with photographs or working with specimens with these types of energy instruments or radionic instruments. That term is no longer in vogue, but people still use it. And it's still practical because it's a new type of energy. Radionics really spoke about this merging of, if you will, the quantum field with at that time, our present day understanding of electronics. So radionics was a term that was very much very popular years ago. It's still used, but the world is now starting to use other terms that perhaps are synonymous: quantum energy, zero-point energy. What's the point? A radionics instrument is not working within the electromagnetic spectrum. If you have a true radionics instrument, it's a different type of energy. It's not electricity. And that's what many theorists theorized about. And some inventors were fortunate enough to build a radionics instrument that accessed the quantum realm. You're not accessing an electromagnetic frequency. It's a different dimension. So I would say, if you really do have a radionics instrument, you're not working with electricity. You're most likely working with quantum.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Mike asked, can't you just destroy an entire pathogen in one swoop?
Yes. It only takes one session to break apart, to eradicate a germ. One session to break apart the HIV virus, one session to break apart a bacterium. Why do I treat for 15 days? Sometimes people become reinfected. Some people need a boost on their immune system. But the main reason I treat for 15 days in a row is for the chakra balance. Some people like the fact that their brain waves and their 7 chakras are balanced on a daily basis. And that's the benefit of treating people on a daily basis.
Here now, we got this global calamity going these days, and is there a way that you could tune into that which is, we are told, is this source of calamity?
Yes.
Attack that one globally, and it will take it out.
I can do it per photograph. Now, I'll speak for myself and my family. During this pandemic, nobody in my family came down with COVID. Nobody. I was working with everybody by way of their photograph, and I'm able to target, I'm able to distinguish, to target the COVID virus and break down its molecular bonds. And I do that all by way of this quantum instrument working in the quantum realm with the photograph of a person. So the way my instrument works, I have to have a photograph of a person or an animal to send the energy to that person or animal. Okay, this is all done by way of the quantum physics, by way of quantum expression. And your photograph is your quantum expression or your quantum signature. Now, I would have hoped that during this pandemic, a greater number of people would have paid attention to my research. But I will state without equivocation, I did not take any extraordinary means to protect myself during the pandemic. I never suffered from any symptoms of COVID-19, nor did my family members.
Yeah.
There's a question that is really appealing to me as a Reiki practitioner. Can you just send a person's picture, or do you need permission from them?
You need their permission. And that's why on their website, we allow you to send in 5, 6 photographs, but just of your family members. I want you to inform your family and have them participate and be in agreement. I put a limit to it because I don't want people going out in the downtown district and just taking photographs in an irresponsible fashion. So please inform your family members. If you're a parent, you can stand in proxy for your child, and that's obvious. And if somebody's of the age of reason, please inform them.
Mm-hmm. That makes
Nick
sense.
asks, could the instruments train your mind to heal your body by thought?
I believe they do. I believe they do. Many people that I work with, they tell me that they have a better mental disposition, that they've kicked drugs, they're no longer prone to alcoholism, that they're happier, they're less prone to be angry or, if you will, in a sullen mood. Now, that's, if you will, the wonderment of scalar energy. I'm not a psychologist. I do not have one-on-one counseling with people. The energy, the light, has performed those feats. Energy. I'm not a psychologist. I do say spiritual, cognitive, emotional healing. That's part and parcel with scalar energy. That's the quantum energy at work.
Amazing.
I got to find a diplomatic way to explain this. Let's see. This global calamity here, some people have taken the advice of government and they've gone out and done a stupid thing. So they still might be hurting from it, but is there something that can be done to reverse that stupid thing?
You know, we not only break down pathogens, we also break down toxins. And within our pathogenic cleanse, we've included toxins such as hydrogel, toxins such as graphene oxide. So we're able to break down not only the molecular structure of a bacterium, we're also able to break down the molecular structure of hydrogel, or graphene oxide. And I will forecast that in the future that need will grow as a greater number of people are taking the shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to
I'm gonna add this and take this and pray upon this. I come from a Catholic belief, and I know many Catholic mystics. And every mystic that I've consulted, every mystic has said that there will be long-standing health complications from this global program. That what we see going on throughout the world, this global program to combat this man-made virus, the jab, so to speak, is going to produce so many health complications in the future, so many.
And can I say something, because this is, the nurse in me and the healer in me. I have visually witnessed many of my friends' health changing after they got that thing. Some would like to deny or do deny that it's happening. If it's happening to you, if you really even suspect that your health is different after you've gotten that, and you don't reach out to Tom, I think you're making a big mistake. From a nursing perspective, as a healer, I mean, it can't hurt you, it can only help you. Yeah. So don't allow politics or opinion or who's woke and who's this or whatever the terms are, not take care of yourself, not take the ultimate good care of yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, it's 15 days for free. My God.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm off my soapbox.
No, we want you. A greater number of people have to speak out. I'm going to repeat this. Every Catholic mystic I know has forecast many problems to result from this global program. Terrible.
It can't be denied. So, if you're in denial, just do it because it's interesting, right? You don't have to admit that your health has changed. Just do it, as prophylaxis or something interesting, or just please do it. Please do it. Yeah. All right.
Let me
go on. Yeah. Well, I was going to read some comments, but go ahead.
Okay, real quick. Let me return to this concept that I was made aware of when I got this Mark 12 computer 9 years ago now. Return to this. They said that you could take a picture, put it in a well. If the picture was 30 years old, soon over a period of time, you start looking more like that picture that you were 30 years ago. What the picture they send you, does it have to be an up-to-date picture, or could it be an old picture? Maybe if they sent you a picture from 30 years ago, could it be that maybe we would start having some of those effects?
That's very, No, that's very interesting. Let me say this. By experience, any photograph, regardless of the age of the photograph, always reports to the person's current condition. Now, if you have a photograph, and that photograph is of you of a younger age, well, then maybe the instrument will pick up on that photograph your genotype or your phenotype, and maybe will start to regress back to that age. We don't know. Is that plausible? It's more than plausible. It probably does indeed happen. Can I prove that? I cannot prove that. But I will say this: anything I put inside that instrument, the mind of God automatically realizes. Anything that I place in my instrument. So if your photograph is that of a time period 20, 30 years ago, and the photograph then carries that, imparts that information that you want to be back in that age of 20 to 30 years ago, you want to age regress, in some fashion, I'm sure that will happen. How, I don't know.
Amazing. Amazing.
Well, you're gonna get a picture of me as a teenager.
Good, why not?
I know exactly what picture you're sending him. The one by the barn, right?
The what?
The picture of you by the barn.
Yeah, probably.
How did I know? I'm a mystic.
Yeah,
Linda said, wait, I lost it. Linda said, I love Augie's diplomacy when trying to explain these things that are not YouTube friendly. Yes, me too, Lind.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to watch ourselves a little bit these days.
You did well. Tom, Mike is asking, do you know Alejandro and Elena who do soul frequency readings with Scalar technology?
No, I'm not familiar with them. No. Most of my research, and I don't mean to be snobbish about this, I just try and focus on what I'm doing. If there are other practitioners, good for them, and I encourage them. But frankly, I'm one man. This is my impediment. As one person, there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
You must be busy.
All the time. Thank you.
Yeah.
To say the least. It's overwhelming at times. I wish I had a team, but people don't understand this science. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are a lot of people who would like to learn it. So hopefully people would be willing to,
Yeah.
learn. And
Talk to us about your website and where they can get you, and maybe also how to communicate with you, and if they have, let's say, a special type of request or something like that also.
Sure. The best place, my center point, if you will, is the website, scalarlight.com, SCALAR. Visit the website, read some of the articles. If you're inclined, try the 15-day free trial. There's no obligation. You can send in photographs of your entire family. Include your pets, because many times your pets are really a great example. You can use them as a benchmark before and after, because many dogs and cats perform quite favorably during these sessions. And that's a good indication that it works, because dogs and cats don't realize that they're being treated with a scalar energy instrument. And then if you want to take this to the next step, contact me. What do I mean by the next step? This is grassroots. And again, Nori and Augie, thanks for your help. Why is this grassroots? Because the powers that be don't like this technology. If this is really all that it's cut up to be, and if this really is of such benefit to mankind, why isn't the world behind this? Well, because the powers that be have always undermined this type of research. And I can guarantee you there's no government, there's no business or corporation that helps me. Zero. If anything, I'm ignored. Meaning what? This is a grassroots movement. So to get to my point, this is grassroots. If you can help me, please do so. Again, I'm a sole researcher. There is no research staff. It's me. It's me. What do I mean by help? Just tell your friends about this technology. If anything, if you know of another radio interview, tell me. I'd love to perform a number of radio interviews to get the information out there. I cannot stress enough how this is underfunded, undermined, and it's just not mainstream yet because it's suppressed. This is suppressed technology.
Mhm. And I was going to say, if you're being ignored, right, by the powers that be, that's probably the best thing for you right now.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
because people are exiting the planet as a result of that. So we don't need that to happen. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Do
Yeah.
you find this is a off the wall question, but do you find that some pets take on their owners' illnesses?
Yes, I believe so.
They do,
Pets-
right?
Yeah, yes, yeah. Pets are very perceptive, and they empathize with us. And a pet will see your sorrow and be sorrowful. Or if they see that you're happy, they'll be elated. So that's, pets do mimic us. They're our incredible friends.
So special. They're angels with fur, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Linda said she's uploading her pic. Yay! I'm going to do
Yay.
it too. I'm going
Yes,
to do
by all
it too
means.
tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Consider my earlier statement. These instruments can work with 1 million photographs a day, 2 million photographs a day. There's no commitment on your part. You don't have to drive to a clinic. You don't have to change your diet or your lifestyle. It's a photograph.
Amazing.
Simply email us your photograph. And once people realize that the quantum realm, quantum dimension is so much simpler because you transcend time and space. And you're working with information. The transference of information is instantaneous. Once people realize that, this should take off.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. What is
I know.
if somebody wants to work with you, like ongoing? What does that look like?
Contact me. Here's the drawback, and with no, I'm not being snide. There's no money in this. I've made this a career, and I haven't made any money in it. Okay? You just break even because there's no money to be made. So what's my point? Unless you have the time and the patience, and you want to do this free of charge, it's not your cup of tea.
Well, I hope that people begin to recognize your modality. I mean, God knows they pay the doctor, and you pay. Now people are finally starting to pay their Reiki practitioners, and you deserve to be compensated for what you do. So I hope that happens soon for you. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think too that the universe has this balance in it. And once you keep doing something for someone without expecting anything in return, the returns will come not necessarily the way you would expect it or in monetary form, but there is a return at some time, maybe even after you drop your body, but there is a return. It will come.
Yes.
In order to create balance in the universe.
Yes, you're right. There is always balance. Yeah, nothing goes unnoticed by God. You're absolutely right.
I love that. That's a good statement to end on, Augie.
Yeah, and here's my favorite question again. Tom, if you could talk to the whole world and the world would listen, what would you tell them?
I frequently tell people, your mind and your heart are scalar energy vessels. Your mind is capable of scalar thought. Your heart is capable of scalar emotion. Use your mind and your heart to glorify God and to help people.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, this was wonderful, Tom.
Thanks,
we got
everybody.
to do this. Yeah, we got to do this ever so often. Leave it a few
Please.
months and